Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. If you're here, we got about an hour until the deadline. So if anyone that's in the chat, feel free to get any comments in, any messages in, any questions ahead of the deadline. Really. Oh, hello Yasmin. It's good to see you. Good to see you on the stream. Feel free to ask any questions if you got any. This is my team for this week. Went through it a little bit. I believe a couple days ago now. I think I uploaded yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I made the upload. So as of right now, not really made any changes. There are a couple that I'm considering. So hello. Hi Yasmin. Yeah, so there's probably like mainly two transfers I'm considering at the moment. One of them is maybe to just go for Gabriel this week. He's at 6.6 now. He's just going to keep going up. I think it's just a matter of time before he gets to 6.7. So that's one move I could make, which, I mean, it was a bit boring, but I mean, with Gabriel scoring back to back now, sort of makes sense, I guess, especially to beat any further price rises. And the other move I'm considering at the moment is because I mean, Liverpool is still, I'd say, a pretty difficult fixture. They haven't been great recently, but it's still not the best fixture. Haaland, in terms of Haaland, I think probably, but I mean, that kind of does bring me to what I was going to say. So if I got rid of Saka, it would probably be to bring in Cole Palmer. I have the budget to stretch to that. So he's got Fulham this week, which isn't. I mean, it's a bit of a tricky fixture, to be fair. I think if I was comparing between Brighton at home for Haaland or Fulham away for Palmer, I think Brighton's probably the slightly better fixture. So I think Haaland's probably the standout this week. I know he's blanked in his last three, but I'd still say he's probably the best captain. And unless we hear anything about rotation, which does remind me actually, I should probably check to see if there is anything in the press conferences from Guardiola. Diaz is out. Okay. So he's got an injury. Damn, Guardiola's out. So a lot of defensive injuries. Ake is back. Okay. And not anything really about Haaland. You just mentioned Marmoush and Aït-Nouri at AFCON. And looks like Doki's back. So is Rodri. But nothing there really to scare me. Or, yes, Cole Palmer. Nothing really there to scare me or anything, I'd say, about Haaland being rotated. Same with Foden. They've been playing 90 minutes, the pair of them. So, yeah, no, I'm not really too concerned about that, to be fair. I mean, right now I've set up with Haaland as the captain. Of course, there was a bit about Robert Sanchez and whether he's going to play or not. I think, if I remember the conference correctly, I forgot his name now, the caretaker manager. What's his name? McFarlane. He said that Sanchez was going to train, and then they'd see how it went. But right now, it's, I think, a bit of a wait and see with that. But I mean, I've got Dubravka on the bench anyway, and I think with Sanchez, with a goalkeeper, he's either going to start or he's just not going to play at all. So that'll be fine if Dubravka comes on. It wouldn't be the worst fixture in the world anyway. United are, as I said in the video, a little bit dodgy. So we'll see how that goes. Also, feel free to I mean, one thing I was thinking we could do is I could maybe do a free hit draft for this week as well if anyone's interested. But otherwise, if you've got any transfer questions, feel free. Like, I'll answer. Good to see a couple people on the stream already. Actually, it's quite nice. So let's see how this goes. First time streaming. I think it's a bit of a process, just trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. But we've got a fair amount of time until the deadline, a bit under an hour still. So feel free to shoot any questions you've got. You mean the deadline? The deadline is at 6:30, so or GMT anyway. And once that's gone, this team, if it stays like this, will be submitted. And if they do well, they do well, and if they don't, they don't, basically. So we'll just have to see how that goes. If there's no questions at the moment. Oh, the free hit. Okay. So if you are new to FPL, then the free hit is a chip. You have 4 chips that you can play. This season's a bit different. So you have 4 in the first 19 weeks, and you have 4 in the last 19 weeks. But the free hit chip, it basically gives you unlimited transfers to have a team just for this week, and then it will go back to normal the week after. So it's a handy chip to play if there's a week where you have like a lot of the popular players maybe, and they're all like, they have tough fixtures, so you maybe don't want to play them, but you don't want to get rid of them permanently. So you look to play the free hit, gives you a chance to just have a new team for that week, and it just goes back to normal. I think in that case, yeah, we'll go and try and draft a free hit draft just to see what I can do. I'd probably Haaland's probably gonna stay. Let's see what we can do. I think let's start with the goalkeeper. I mean, because Sanchez is out, let's see who has the best fixture. Don't know West Ham. I think I'd probably have Tarkowski in this week first of all. Probably go for Tarkowski. He's gone up again. But Wolves at home, I know they beat West Ham, but West Ham at West Ham. So there couldn't always be worse fixtures than that. But outside of that, I mean, Gabriel, I don't think you need... If you were playing a free hit, I don't think you need to do that this week. Liverpool at home isn't the best fixture in the world by a long shot. So if I think one of the City defenders might actually be a good shout. But, I mean, Newcastle look alright as well. So I'd maybe go for Chow. Not sure about that, actually. I think for now, I'd go for Malik Chow. And then... let's just have a look at City. I think with them, you always just go for whoever's the most nailed. So, okay, O'Reilly played 90. Ake's back. So that's a bit of a problem. Who would I go for? Yeah, West Ham really aren't good. But, okay, leave the City for now. Leave City for now, I think. I think you want one budget defender, don't you? On a free hit. Just to maximize how far the money goes. So Alderete is fine. Then we'll go to midfield for now, I think. Games. I think if you're on a free hit, you kind of take the punt on Cole Palmer just to see how it goes. You might as well go for it, It's all or nothing. So I think you do go for him. And then, who else would I go for? Maybe you go for Cherky, actually, in midweek. Maybe it's worth a shot. Brighton, not the easiest game, but not the most tricky either. I think I'd be happy to stick with Bruno Guimaraes. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking Voltamada up front could work. Would I start Chalobah or Gabriel? That's a tough one, actually. I think if you have Gabriel, you kind of have to start him, and you hope that it's a bit of a cagey game. He's worth too much, I think, to keep him on the bench. But it is a tough call. Who are your other defenders? Because I mean, Fulham isn't the worst game either. Like it's not the easiest game, but it's not the worst game. Van de Ven or Mukiele. Thing is, okay, I think I'd actually go Mukiele there. Yeah, no, I don't trust the Spurs defense. I really don't. I know that the Semenya situation's going on, and you've got a couple other issues there as well. But Bournemouth's attack is still decent enough, I think, where they'll at least score once. I think Michele has a slightly better chance. Hello, welcome to the stream. Happy to see a bunch of new faces here. If it's your first time here, feel free to like and subscribe and just shoot away with any questions you've got. At the moment, I'm kind of just drafting a free hit. I'm not playing free hit this week. I'm still undecided on my transfers, but we'll see how it goes. Let me see, actually. Brentford against Sunderland. I mean, Sunderland are tough, but Brentford are at home. Okay, back to the free hit anyway. I think Cunha on the free hit's fine. Burnley's the type of game where I don't know if I trust a clean sheet for United, but I think it's a fine fixture to target on a free hit. Yo, hello. I don't know how to pronounce the name actually. Kaki, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, that is true. Liverpool aren't the greatest from corners either. So I'd probably, I mean, with Gabriel, there's always, I feel like every single game, because of how much Arsenal are good at corners, he's always a risk. Like, he's always a goal threat, really. So I'd always be willing to go with him, even in a more tricky fixture. He's one of those guys where you just keep him in the team every week. And even in a difficult fixture, I'd be reluctant to bench. 5-0 down. Who are you playing? What happened? Were they like blanks, or did they just not play? Oh, so yeah, I'd probably go for Grealish. I think I'm biased towards Grealish. I just favour Jack Grealish quite a lot, but I do think, again, Wolves at home's quite a good game, so I'd be willing to go with that. I think you could put Donnarumma in goal against Brighton, actually. That could work. I mean, I don't know how good City's defence have been recently, but I don't think that's the worst thing ever. And then completing the defence. You know, maybe you do go for Gabriel. It's a tricky one. Okay, I think up front, the other one. I think I'd probably just go with Jared Bowen. Just give him a shot. He's not the worst player in the world by any stretch. I mean, he is pretty much the main man at West Ham. So I'd go with that. Then you could probably go Barnes to spread the cash as much as you can. Keane, Ekitike, Caicedo, Minte, and Guiu. That's rough. Yeah, with Keane, it was a weird one with the injury. They didn't really announce it, and then Ekitike. Yeah, it's a bit similar, the situation. Kind of just found out, and just a weird one. Caicedo, I think he had the 5 yellows in you, so he was banned. I think Minte's, I think I heard something in the press conference. He looks alright for this week. It looks like he'll be close to being back if he's not back. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, with the fixtures in quick succession like they are right now, it's just very difficult to kind of stay on top of FPL, I think. You have to constantly be clued into the deadlines. I think now we're exiting that winter period, it should start to get a little bit easier. There's going to be a lot less of the midweek, so it'll be back to just your like weekend game weeks. Who else would I put in for this free hit though? Feel free to add any suggestions, by the way. if anyone has any ideas for the defensive line. I mean, you could maybe that Palace Villa game could easily end 0-0, to be honest. I feel like that would be a bit cagey. Maybe just go for Chelsea defender though. Maybe Chalobah isn't the worst. Which is maybe counterintuitive because I told you to start Gabriel, but it's a tough one. You know, maybe in the what's his ownership? 28.6. Maybe you do just go Gabriel. But honestly, I think it's quite close between Chalobah and Gabriel. I think I'd go Gabriel, but if you can find a way to fit in both, that's probably ideal. Caicedo, Lacroix, Alderete, Ekatike, Virgil. Start 3. Okay. Probably bench Caicedo. I did own him for a spell actually. He was quite decent, but probably bench him because at best you're maybe looking at DEFCON from him. Lacroix against... I don't mind Lacroix against Villa actually. Maybe you start him. Alderete, I don't mind that either. And Ekatike and Virgil. If I had to pick between the two, I'd probably start Ekatike. Let me think though. Yeah, Arsenal away is tough. I don't know if I can... The thing is, in a game like that, it can just come down to a set piece. I think that's the problem. But I think you always favour starting the attacker. So Ekatike is definitely a start. And then Lacroix, you start. I think it's really between Alderete and Virgil for that. Again, maybe you take the punt on Liverpool, maybe getting a corner or something. I think Virgil's quite good for DEFCON as well, so maybe you go there. Just about. Maybe Virgil just about edges it, but I think it's quite tight. Who would I go for? I mean, it doesn't really matter because these are the 3. And then I think you can just have Michele there as well. That's fine. And then, let's see. A 4.5. Oh yeah, Barnes. Actually, Barnes is fine. Yep. So that's probably roughly what I'd do on a free hit if I was free hitting this week. The Everton game looks decent, and then the City game looks alright as well. Chelsea looks decent. The Forest game is going to be a big 6-pointer, so to be honest, you could maybe go for a Forest play this week, but I think the problem is you never know where the points are going to come from. That's why I'd be quite reluctant to go there. But yeah, we'll go back to my team. This is what it looks like at the moment. If you've got any suggestions for me, feel free, honestly. But this is how I'm lining up. It's the exact same as my team last week, which got, if you didn't see the video, got 52 points. The defense was not very good. All the points were midfield, basically. Bowen did get DEFCON, which was slightly weird. Keane starts. Let me check. I don't think Braithwaite's back, is he? From what I know, I don't think Braithwaite's back. So, as long as Keane's fit, let me check what they've said. He returned for Everton with a minor niggle, but okay. So it says Keane is back. He did return for the squad against Brentford. He's got a bit of an issue, but it's not too bad. They have to be a bit careful, but he was fine and he's pleased. Let me see how... I think it depends on how much he started. I mean, how much he played in that game. If he didn't play too much, then I'd probably be a bit more. Oh, he played 90. Okay, that's hard to say then. I mean, based on what Moyes has said, I'd probably say he starts. I think if there's any game he's gonna miss, it'll probably be the FA Cup game. I don't know who Everton have got in the cup, but I think that's probably the game they sacrifice him in rather than the game this week. So I'd probably be pretty confident to start Keane this week. Plus, I mean, it's Wolves, so it's... I know they were good against West Ham, but again, West Ham are West Ham. Yeah, no, of course, that makes sense. But I think it's... I mean, I guess it depends on the other defenders as well. Who would... If you weren't playing Keane, who would you play instead? Let me actually check who else is back. Braithwaite's not back, so it wouldn't be him. O'Brien's there. I don't think he's going to take that spot. I don't think Mikolenko would either. I think I'd be relatively confident to start Keane. Because, I mean, there aren't tons of options for Moyes outside of him anyway, so I think I'd go for it. Unless there's like another defender who's maybe got a decent-ish fixture, and maybe is like one of the DEFCON defenders, maybe, if you're very worried, but I'd be pretty confident. Guardiola, and yeah, that is tough. So you've got, who's the other defender? Because Guardiola is annoying though, because it came very randomly as well. I know someone that they brought in Guardiola last week and then immediately was just didn't play out of nowhere. My captain, I've got it on Haaland at the moment, and I doubt I'm going to change that. I mean, you never know. Saka could absolutely fire against Liverpool because they haven't been wonderful to watch, but I mean the last 2 weeks I've gone against Haaland anyway, and it's been, I mean, 1 week I think it was I went with Cunha and he blanked, and then last week I went with Saka and then he got benched, but he got an assist, so it kind of paid off. This week I just don't really see a reason to go against Haaland, unless there's something in the press conference that says that he's like Pep's gonna rotate him. But I think with all of the top managers, they're always very reluctant to say anything. They really don't let on what they're actually gonna do. You just kind of find out when the team sheet's announced. Arteta is like quite similar, so that's why it was like the Saka benching kind of came out of nowhere, but it makes sense with the Liverpool game this midweek, I suppose. You know, yeah, Bowen could. I could see that. I could definitely see Bowen doing something today. I mean, I think it's really now or never for West Ham. Really, it's if they don't do it this week, and Forest win, especially Forest win, that's the gap up to, I believe, should be like 7 points. And at that point, it'll be very difficult to get out of that relegation zone. So they really need to go for it, I think. You'd expect Bowen to be up for it, especially at home. But London Stadium is, I can tell you as a West Ham fan, it's hardly a fortress. So teams can go there and get results. It's not uncommon for a team to go to the London Stadium and absolutely batter West Ham. I think there's a lot of pressure on Nuno as well, actually. Especially now. There's a lot of talk about him getting sacked, which I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, it's something to keep an eye on, I guess. Especially because if it does happen and you have Bowen, I mean, I don't think he gets affected, but it's more just like, how does it make West Ham better or worse if a new manager comes in? Oh, believe me, I'd love West Ham I love Bowen to score 3 goals. That would be wonderful. 3 goals against Forest. I mean, it would sort of make up for last week, or yeah, not completely make up for that Wolves game, but at least inspire a little bit more hope. And yeah, you're right. I don't think his ownership's that. Only 9.9. That's a surprise, actually, because a lot of the FPL managers, they are talking about Bowen as one of the main forward options. So it's a surprise he's that lowly owned. But I guess it's one of those things. Sometimes I think a lot of people know West Ham are just not very reliable at the moment. So it's always a bit of a risk. But if you have him, I think you stick with him. Like, I brought him in last week, maybe slightly naively, and I brought him in for Igor Thiago, and he got the 4 points. So that was frustrating, but I managed to still get a green arrow out of it. So not so bad, but you know, you kind of, when you make a transfer like that, especially against the Wolves, you're expecting a little bit more than just the 4 points. To not even get a goal, I think that's the thing that's really surprising. But they were going to get their first win eventually, I think, and if it was going to be anyone, I think it was always going to be us, because they beat us in the cup as well, the Carabao Cup, earlier on in the season. So they did it once and they did it again, basically. Strand Larsen. Yeah, he was very good last season. I remember he had a bit of a purple patch at a point during the season. He's pretty good. And then this season, I don't know what's gone wrong. It's just Wolves have really looked off it the whole season. Now with the new manager coming in from Borough, it's started to look a little bit up. I mean, I think they're definitely going down, but they're playing with a bit more. Like they're going for the game a lot more now, and I don't know if that's a way for Strand Larson to come into things, but they look decent, Wolves. There was talk actually about him coming to West Ham, which that would have been funny if that did happen. I doubt it's happening now. Hammers have signed, I think, two forwards, Castellanos and Felipe. So unlikely, but we'll see. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the thing is, with FPL how it is now, there's some the template is so like highly owned. It's insane. Tons of people own so many of the same players, so you have to find a differential somewhere. That's your only real shot of getting a green arrow in most weeks. And I mean, with captain, yeah, I've been hurt with Haaland a few times when I've owned him, but I haven't captained him, and it's gone wrong. Like that week against Fulham, the 5-4, I didn't captain Haaland that week, and it was bad. It was really bad. I had like a really sharp red. Yeah, it's true. It's quite frustrating actually because you want. There's a lot of talk now, especially with a lot of the tools in FPL. Like, is it okay to use those? A lot of people listen to the content creators, which I mean, I am one now. So yeah, but it's just very hard to stand out now as a team. It's hard to I guess find something different while in a way that you're not just taking a crazy risk. Because I mean, if you go too different, then the risk, the upside's high, but so is the downside, and then you just don't know what to do really. I think there is a lot of caution around FPL because it just takes a couple mistakes, a couple like differentials gone bad, and your like rank will just plummet in 1 week. So I've kind of tried to go for some differentials. I went for Bruno a couple weeks ago actually. Like his ownership's picked up now, but I went for him in game week 14 against Spurs. And I know a lot of the discourse online was kind of like his XG is really low and he's unreliable and he's outperforming his XG and he'll come back to ground. But you know, sometimes XG is helpful a lot of the time. It tells you how things are going to go often in a longer time frame, but there are players where they will just consistently outscore XG because they're just very good and they take shots on that are like from outside the box a lot of the time, and then they'll score, but the XG tells you a different story. I mean, I suppose it's. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just kind of trying to guess how to play, how to play the game, what moves to pick. But you know, someone can absolutely come in and just. They might not play the game. They might not know too much. They get used to it a little bit, and then can very easily do well, I think. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is kind of with all of the information out there now. It's kind of knowing what to listen to and how to use it effectively, and what to kind of ignore. I know one player that's been getting a lot of that is Soboslai at Liverpool, who's kind of a lot of the algorithms have been saying he's gonna do well, and he's playing further forward now. He's not playing right back. I think he's in that like three behind Ekatike. So a lot of the algorithms have been expecting him to do well, especially with him on penalties, but it hasn't worked out so far. So it's kind of stuff like that where you just kind of have to figure out like what is the best move in that situation. Rice last week and he's got, yeah. I know a lot of people that did that. I mean, it's it's like the Arteta mind games. You never really know what to do until it's way too late. It's like he'll name the team sheet and then you see Rice there and you're like, oh god, I've just sold him. And then when he turns up like that, it's like, what can you do really? I do think I've said it a few times, but with Rice and Saka, there's really not that much in it, and that's why I was really reluctant to buy Saka for a lot of the season because he's good, but he takes a long while. But for 10.2 million, I think that's how much he is. Yeah, 10.2. It's just a lot of money to put into one place, and if he doesn't have whole ability, if he can't score big, kind of calls into question why you put that much money there. And I think with Rice, he does similarly to Saka, but he's just a lot cheaper. But I mean, again, it's just an annoying Arteta thing. If there's an injury, you will never know what's going to happen until he names that team sheet, and you can only really guess. So often, it can be better. You might just be better off to kind of play the player and then just make sure your bench is covered. So if they don't come on, then at least you have someone off the bench. At least you maybe have like a Defcon Magna or something. You can kind of, like an Anderson, you can kind of just come into your team and at least get you 3 or 4 points. Not sure if I'm going to make a transfer, to be fair. I mean, mine last week didn't go well, but I don't know. If you didn't hear already, the 2 transfers I am considering is either to just get rid of Saliba for Gabriel this week, which I could do, and wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, or would be to go for Cole Palmer in for Saka this week. Those are the 2 I'm considering. Yeah, no, he's crazy sneaky. Like, he doesn't want to let on anything, Arteta. Which, I mean, like, he was the assistant manager for him for a while to Guardiola at City, so I guess shouldn't be too surprised. But, I mean, I didn't know the roulette's starting now as well, I think, with the amount of depth that Arsenal have in the attack. The amount of options is crazy. Especially with all of them back now, because earlier in the season, I think Jesus was out and Havertz was out, but now they're both back, and pretty much everyone in this midfield is back now. He's got a ridiculous amount of options. I mean, I think the only good thing really is we're getting out of that festive period now, so there's less of an excuse to rotate, I suppose. There aren't as many Premier League midweek games. So the rotation will more be like, I guess, with the Champions League. But you won't have to worry about it so much in the Prem, I think. Oh, I could go for -4. Which I probably wouldn't do, because I mean, unless Gabriel scores, there's not really much difference between him and Saliba. And then Saka could do well against Liverpool, so it's, especially after getting like rested. So that's definitely not worth a -4 for me. But I could make one of the changes. As for this guy, Dorgu, I mean, I brought him in. I kind of gave in. I bought into the hype a little bit after he scored against Newcastle. Now I'm kind of stuck with him, and I have no clue what I'm going to do with him, to be honest. Because I don't really want him in my team after the Burnley game. He hasn't done anything in either of these, and these are the best 2 games he can have, really. Or some of the best 2 games. Burnley this week away. Don't know what's going to happen after that, really. We'll see. We will see what happens. But I think with Dorgu, honestly, I've genuinely contemplated just playing Lacroix instead of Dorgu, because especially with Fletcher in the team now, I have no idea how that's going to go. And honestly, Palace at home are decent. Even if it's Villa, they are a decent team. So I do have a fair amount of trust in him. And he's been hitting DEFCON, I think, the last couple of weeks as well. Where is it? DEFCON. Yeah, 13-8. So he didn't get it against Fulham, but yeah, mostly in 3 of the last 4 he's hit DEFCON, which is quite good. Yeah, that's the thing. You really don't. You have literally no clue if they're gonna start. You kind of just have to. You have to guess a lot of the time, especially with Palmer. You don't know. I mean, I know he played 90 minutes against City, but in a way that kind of worries me more now. Not in the long term. It's a good sign that he's getting up to speed, but for this specific midweek, it worries me to buy him in. Because after playing 90, I don't know if he's gonna. I mean, he could start, but does he play a lot of the game? He could go off at half time. I don't know. Especially with the thing about him only being able to play 60 minutes at a time. If he's played 90, are they really going to risk him? I know Fulham they've been playing alright, and they aren't the easiest team to break down either. I mean, the results show it. Undefeated in the last 5. So they are a good team, but still don't know if. I mean, again, Chelsea are another one of those teams where they have so much attacking depth that you have genuinely no idea what they're going to do. So I mean, especially in a midweek game, I wouldn't be surprised if they rotate. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous the amount of players they have. Caicedo, Lacroix, Alderete. Okay. Start 3 of them. I'd probably say Lacroix, Ekatike, and Virgil. That's probably what I'd go for. Let me actually check what the news was about. Oh wait, the press conference is tomorrow, isn't it? So you really have to take the punt on Ekatike. Because they could just play Gakpo up front. Yeah, that's kind of tough then. Yeah, that's an annoying one. That is an annoying one. It is because it is Arsenal as well. So even if he comes off the bench, it's gonna be really hard. I think if you don't transfer him out, I think you just play him. I think you just play Ekatike and you hope he starts. The thing is, I mean, if you were to transfer him out, though, who would you even go for? I mean, you can get to most players in the game for that price, but I don't know how many. I mean, you could go for Thiago if you don't have him, but I don't know. The forwards this season, especially, have been so uninspiring. DCL against Newcastle is not the worst thing ever. I know in the free hit draft I would have probably played a Newcastle defender, but it's not the worst thing ever. I mean, okay, let me actually check how Caicedo's been doing since he's come back. Okay. Because I know I had him earlier and he was like crazy on DEFCON. He was consistent. Okay, so he's still been getting there. It's not been bad. It's not been bad from him at all since he's come back. They've got Fulham. That might be a tough game. I think I'd probably put Caicedo first sub. I don't know if I'd play him. But I think there is potential for DEFCON against Fulham. But yeah, I think still I'd maybe put him first up. I don't think I'd go as far as starting him. Because, I mean, at worst case, you lose 4 points, I guess. And Ekatike comes on for a 1-pointer, but with Ekatike, I think there's just a higher upside. Like, he's more likely to score big, so even if it's against Arsenal, he's still more likely to score big. So I think I'd take the risk with Ekatike. What's the time? 6:10. Got 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Any questions, fire away, honestly. We've got last 20 minutes until deadline. I'm still undecided right now. I mean, I'm decided on the captain and most of the team. It's mainly these 2 Arsenal players that I'm not decided on. Yeah, I think Ekatike and Virgil's fine. mean, Virtuous did that. He does get Defcon 2, doesn't he? So there is that, worst comes to worst. I know it's not like what you'd expect from someone that expensive, but damn, he's not actually been hitting that either. Fine, maybe you just rely on the attacking threat from Virtual. Him and Gabriel, they're both quite good from corners. Actually, let me take a look at the price changes quickly. Gabriel is going up tonight, so I mean, I could wait until after deadline and then bring him in. That is also something I can do, but I mean, I guess there's nothing to be lost if I do that. I might as well do it now if I'm gonna make that move. Damn, I love the Arsenal place going down. Okay. Neto, Welbeck. I don't want any of these players. A lot of Arsenal players going down. Okay. That is slightly worrying though. That Gabriel is going up again. It's very hard to play FPL and be, I guess, take a cautious approach, because if you try and do it, the players do just rapidly go up in price. Yeah, no, Virgil is. I mean, do you have the money to go to Gabriel this week? You could just do that, to be fair. Or you could go for a Newcastle defender. I think they're decent also. I mean, Chow's shown he has a bit of gold right in him. Who do I support? Oh, God. Unfortunately, it's this team over here, West Ham, who are the reason that the deadline is now rather than tomorrow. It's very unfortunate I support this team, but I do. I support West Ham. I mean, I'm hoping we win today, and I'm hoping Bowen is part of the reason we win, but it's hard to be too optimistic with this team, if I'm honest. You kind of just have to hope for the best. That's all you can do with West Ham, really. It's annoying though. I kind of... So it's because of those price changes. I could have maybe stretched a bit more to get to Gabriel, but it's not an option now. Who do you support anyway? I might have to go for Gabriel this week. I've let his price rise a couple times, like 3 times now. I don't know if I want to let it rise a 4th time. He did. I mean, he's played 90. He played 76, and then he played 90. When am I? Pretty much most of my life. Yeah. I mean, specifically when I'd say like 15, 16, 14, 15. I'll say 14, 15. The 14-15 season. Arsenal, yeah. I mean, life is good for an Arsenal fan right now. It's very good for an Arsenal fan. It's been a tough few seasons getting close to the title and then not quite getting it over the line, but I'm pretty sure this has to be the season. 2010. Fair enough. I mean, that must be tough too. I mean, West Ham have had their moments, to be fair. They've had their highs and they've had their lows, and now we're definitely at a low period for them, but I just have to hope that if they go down, they can claw themselves out of the Championship. Not an easy place to get out of, though. Not an easy place to get out of. How many Arsenal players have you got on your team then, since you're an Arsenal fan? Quite a few, or a bit more cautious? I mean, I think in general, Arsenal players are very good FPL assets, so I wouldn't be shy. Like, it's hardly ridiculous to have a triple Arsenal team. especially with. And after the Liverpool game, the fixtures look alright actually. That United game wouldn't worry me either. So you could very easily go for triple Arsenal. If not from this week, from next week. Yeah, no, Arsenal is, especially the last like 15, I mean, call it 20 years actually. It's a hard team to support. It is a very difficult team to support because, I mean, they kind of get close sometimes, and obviously there was like the trophy drought for a while. I can't relate to that because, I mean, I don't call it a trophy drought. I just call it like at least we survived the season. That's relief for me, which I don't know if West Ham will this season, but we'll see. Saka and Gabriel, Calafiori, yeah, out. It makes sense. I don't know if he's back yet, is he? Not that Arteta would tell anyone if he was back, but not much to indicate. 4 from Arsenal. Oh, did you have someone that got transferred out? Like, or they transferred from one team to Arsenal? Maybe Madueke. That's the if it was anyone, it would be Madueke, right? Or Guy. Actually, not Guy. What am I talking about? Madueke, I'm guessing. Right. That must have been the 4th. Time is it? 17. I think I might just go for the Saliba to Gabriel. It feels kind of sideways to make that move. Because I kind of want double Arsenal anyway, but Saliba is just not it. It'd be funny if this is the week he finally turns up, the week I transfer him out, but he doesn't get DEFCON. Where is his DEFCON? He doesn't hit DEFCON. He has virtually no attacking threat. And like all he relies on is clean sheets. Oh, Eze. That makes sense. That makes sense. He was at, I forgot about that. He was at Palace for a couple games this season, then he left. Man, I can't lie. This transfer feels so sideways. But I know there's just more upside with Gabriel. That's the thing. The only problem is if I make this now, then I only have one transfer next week. But to be fair, who have they got? Keeping Saka for that isn't the worst. That Forest game's not the worst. I think if I get rid of anyone, it's... I mean, Foden could go. But I think it's most likely to be Cunha. And maybe I just bring in Rice for next week. I think that's probably what I do next week. So not for the Liverpool game, for the Forest game. So I have triple Arsenal for that. And then maybe the week after is when I go for Palmer, when he's playing... Who's he playing? Okay. Palace isn't the worst game. It's probably not the best game ever. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I think I'm probably going to make the Gabriel transfer now. How long have we got? 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go until deadline. Any last questions, get them in. If there's any like drafts you want me to make quickly, feel free to let me know. I can draft something. Or any transfers you're considering this week, or maybe next week as well. Feel free to let me know. I can tell you what I think. Of course, up to you, ultimately. Might as well just log this in now. It's a boring transfer. I'm in 2 minds. Maybe I play Lacroix instead of Dorgu. As well. I don't know. That looks a little bit better to me, to be honest. Or maybe I play Dorgu. Maybe what I do is I don't play Mukiele. And I play... Because that way I at least get... I mean, Mukiele is good for DEFCON though, isn't he? Oh, he's decent enough for DEFCON. Especially for his price. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make this move now. Yep, there we go. Gabriel in to the team. And that's one less headache to worry about. Now I have the other essential player in FPL. I think I have to take the chance on Dorgu. I mean, maybe it's gambler's fallacy, but I've come this far now. I brought him in game week 19. I feel like I have to stick it out. Yeah, let me check actually. The thing is, it's actually, you're right. Palace haven't been great. Let me check how they've done. 2-0, 1-1, 1-0, 4. Damn, that's not good. They have not been good. Damn. I mean, the thing is, it has been a bit of a fixture swing, to be fair. But, I mean, Villa's not an easy game. What do I go for? That might be a point, actually. I mean, both of them have I think Mukiele and Lacroix both have a similar likelihood of getting DEFCON. The numbers aren't all that different. Maybe Lacroix slightly higher. But Mukiele is not bad. And if I was betting between... We take home and away out of it. If I was just betting between a clean sheet against Villa and Brentford, I think Brentford's much more likely to be a game where you can get a clean sheet. I just have to quickly... I mean, Brentford have been scoring, though. That's the thing. They have been scoring. Oh, wait, why have I gone that far back? Wait. What time is it? We got 7 minutes. Yep. Goals. I mean, they didn't score against Spurs. They battered Bournemouth. They beat Wolves, but anyone but West Ham can do that. Leeds. Okay. It's just the fact... I think the thing that's swaying me is the fact that Brentford are the team at home. Like, if it was Sunderland at home, I'd probably feel very confidently about Mukiele. Let me actually see if Palace have been any better at home. Because I know Palace they haven't been super great away recently. But I mean, a draw against Fulham's not bad. They only lost 1-0 to Spurs. And then the City game. How did they do in the City game? Palace. When was that? 3-0, okay. So that's not great. I guess, okay, let me have a look at Villa. Quickly. 3-1. Okay, they lost. And that's Arsenal, that's fine. They beat Chelsea, but okay. They have been good, Villa. They have actually been very... Okay. Yeah, you might be making a fair point. Maybe I'm overshooting how good... I mean, how good the chances are for Lacroix. I'll take the chance on the Brentford clean sheet. Just have to hope Igor Thiago doesn't fire away again. Which I think is... I mean, he scored a hat-trick in his last game, but I think it's a fair chance he's not going to do that well, at least. Whether he scores at least once, I mean, I think that's perfectly possible, but yeah. I think that's it. I think that's my team, pretty much. I don't think I think the bench and how it's done looks fine. I don't think there's much I'd change about the bench either. They're all at home, funnily enough, on the bench. I'm not going to bench boost that. What am I talking about? Not with Creepy. The thing with him is he comes off the bench, but he can score off the bench. But yeah, I'm not gonna do a last minute chip or anything like that. Start 2, bench 1. Wilson, Miley, Lefay. Okay, I think I'd bench Miley out of the 2. It depends on it. Let me actually check if I need to see his minutes, because there's a lot of rotation risk in that Newcastle team. Oh, he hasn't played 90. Okay, no, never mind. I think you go for it with Miley then. I think you bench Lefay. That's probably the best option. Because that Leeds are good, but I still think it's okay to target. And I'd probably play Wilson. Because Chelsea, they did manage to draw against City, but it's still an interim manager, or caretaker, I should say. I don't think the new manager's managing them this game week. I think he starts. His first game should be the weekend game. So yeah, so it's still McFarlane for this game at least. No worries. Best of luck. Okay. Also, thank you for everyone that's liked. Really appreciate that. Team doesn't look too bad, to be fair. Doesn't look too bad. It can always be better, obviously. But just to quickly go through it. Sanchez has a decent chance against Fulham of a clean sheet. Dorgu really needs to score to make my transfer in worth it. Gabriel, I had to bring in. Mukiele has a decent chance. Grealish at Wolves. Not at Wolves, at home to Wolves. Should be good. Foden's been a bit off it recently, but actually, no, he's had okay games. He's had, these 3. Actually, Sunderland away is hard, I'm not going to lie about that. But West Ham and Forest aren't that bad. They're probably 2 games you'd look forward to and you look for points. But yeah. Bruno should be okay, Cunha should be okay, Saka should be okay, Bowen, Haaland should be fine. Yeah. I think we're set. We've got a minute to deadline. Get your teams in if you haven't already. Any last minute questions, you got to shoot now. Otherwise, yeah, deadline's gone. So get them in quick. What time is it? Almost there. Well, I hope everyone got the teams in, made your transfers. That's deadline. Made a transfer from Saliba to Gabriel this week, so yeah, I'm alright with that. I was gonna have to either now or after deadline, so I thought I might as well just do it now. And Gabriel has a better chance of points than Saliba, I think, anyway, so there's no point really for me to keep the transfer till next week. I thought it would have been the same thing, really. So might as well get him in slightly early. If I refresh the page, it should be. Yep. That is that. That is that. Well, it was a good first stream, actually. It was a good first stream. Hope you all enjoyed that, actually. And anyone got any further questions, feel free to ask. I'll be here for maybe another 5 minutes if anyone's got questions. That I'm going to leave that here. I'm going to stop fiddling around with this now. But that is my team on the screen. my final team for this game week. Transfer in was Gabriel in for Saliba, mainly just because Gabriel is going to rise in price again tonight, so I thought I might as well just make it now rather than wait. Haaland captain, nothing out of the ordinary there. Pretty much the set and forget captain most weeks anyway, so against Brighton at home, they're good at the Etihad City, and Haaland's the focal point. Hope you all enjoyed the stream very much. It was a lot of fun. We'll be looking to do this more often, so please do feel free to tune in. Should be back on the weekend. Look out for my video where I do my team selection for next week. Should be coming in the coming days. I'll also go through the game week review for game week 21 there in that video as well. But been very good. Hope you all enjoyed, and yeah, best of luck.